You've probably heard of a herniated disc, right? That thing that can cause so much nagging back pain. But what if I told you that in some cases, it could just fix itself? Like, literally disappear? Okay, so let's get right into it because the answer is a pretty incredible yes. Today, we're going to explore the body's secret superpower, how it can sometimes make a herniated disc just vanish. And no, this isn't some old wives' tale or a medical myth. It is a very real phenomenon, and it's got a scientific name: spontaneous reabsorption. Think of it as your body's own built in repair service for one of the most common back problems out there. So, you're probably wondering, how on earth does this medical mystery actually work? Well, let's play detective and find out. And get this isn't some cutting edge, brand new discovery. Scientists actually first reported this phenomenon way back in 1984. But even with all that time, we're still figuring out the incredibly smart and honestly elegant way our bodies can pull this off. So that leads us to the two big questions, right? First, how does the body actually do this? And second, who's the most likely to get lucky and have this happen to them? It's time to look for some clues. Okay, our first piece of evidence comes straight from the medical scans themselves. Turns out, researchers have found some really clear clues in MRIs and patient info that can actually help predict when this amazing healing is going to happen. So here's the deal. Not all herniated discs are the same when it comes to this self-healing trick. It seems like the body is way more likely to go after the really big, gnarly ones, the giant ruptured discs that have actually burst through their outer wall. And size matters too. If the herniation is taking up more than half the spinal canal, the chances of it resorbing go way up. And timing is everything. A newer injury has a much, much better shot at healing itself. And one of the coolest visual clues they found is something they call the bullseye sign. Seriously, on an MRI, it looks just like a glowing ring right around the herniation. And what you're actually seeing there, that's your body in action, building brand new blood vessels. It's a process called neovascularization. It's basically the first step in getting the whole repair team to the scene. And this bullseye isn't just for show, it's a huge predictor. One study found that, get this, over 42% of patients who had this sign showed major resorption of their disc. That's almost half. It's like a big, bright neon sign saying, yep, the body's on the job here. And this really shows you just how important timing is. Look at this. For folks whose herniation was less than a year old, more than 26% saw it shrink significantly. But if the injury was over a year old, that number plummets to just over 6%. It really proves the body's healing response is strongest right when the injury is fresh. Okay, so we've seen the clues, we've seen the evidence, but who or what is actually doing all this work? Well, it's time to meet the body's elite repair team. All right, the stars of this whole show are these amazing little immune cells called macrophages. The easiest way to think of them is as the body's cleanup crew. Their whole job is to roam around, find stuff that doesn't belong, like that pesky herniated disc material, and then just eat it. They literally engulf and digest the debris. But it gets even cooler. These macrophages aren't just one-trick ponies. They actually have two different personalities. First up, you have the M1 macrophages. Think of these guys as the demolition crew. They're pro-inflammatory, and they rush in first to start breaking down all the damaged disc tissue. Then, once they've done their thing, the M2 macrophages show up. They're the repair crew. Their job is to clean up the mess, calm everything down, and start rebuilding and remodeling the tissue. It's a whole two-step process. So, we've met the team. Now let's take a look at their playbook. How exactly do they pull off this incredible inside job? Okay, so it all kicks off when the ruptured disc basically sends out an SOS signal to the immune system. That call brings in the M1 demolition crew, and they start breaking down the bad stuff, partly by triggering the disc cells to self-destruct. That's a process called apoptosis. While that's happening, another cool process called autophagy kicks in to recycle and protect the healthy cells nearby. And then, for the grand finale, the M2 repair crew swoops in to dial down the inflammation and finish the repair. It's this beautiful, coordinated dance of destruction and rebuilding. And hey, remember that bullseye sign we talked about? Those new blood vessels? Well, our heroes, the macrophages, are behind that too. They release this stuff called VGF, and that's the signal that tells the body to build those new blood vessels. It's like they're building their own highways to bring in supplies and haul out the trash from the demolition zone. So clever. So, okay, that's a lot of science, right? But what does it all mean for someone who's actually dealing with a herniated disc? Let's get to the bottom line. What this means for healing without surgery. Okay, the first and most important takeaway is this. Your body has an absolutely incredible natural power to heal certain herniated discs all by itself. The second big thing, inflammation isn't always the bad guy. We're so used to thinking of it as something to get rid of, but here it's actually a vital first step in the healing process. And finally, those clues we talked about, like the bullseye sign, can actually help doctors predict who's a good candidate for this natural healing. And that knowledge is powerful. It helps everyone decide on the best non-surgical treatments.
And really, that's the whole point. You know, the researchers who did this study said it best. This knowledge helps doctors, quote, timely select the most suitable treatment plan for the patient. It's all about tailoring the treatment to the person and trusting the body's own amazing ability to heal.
So that leaves us with one last big idea to chew on. We're always told to fight inflammation, right? Grab the ice, take the pills. But if inflammation is a key tool that our body uses to heal itself, maybe we need to completely rethink how we see it.